And Jeremy Clarkson has given a lengthy apology for his notorious Sun newspaper column about Meghan Markle, revealing he even reached out to the Sussexes on Christmas morning to make amends. In a post on social media earlier, Clarkson explained, "I said I was baffled by what they had been saying on TV, but the language I'd used in my column was disgraceful and that I was profoundly sorry." He also confirmed suspicions that his calls for Meghan to be pelted with excrement on the streets were in fact a reference to a scene in Game of Thrones, which he'd failed to mention in the column's final edit. None of that was enough for the Sussexes, though, who tonight issued yet another deranged statement, accusing Clarkson of writing articles that, quote, spread rhetoric and misogyny. Even before they piped in, streaming giant Amazon had brought the axe down. According to Variety magazine, they will stop commissioning Clarkson's hit TV series The Grand Tour and Clarkson's Farm. So what do you think? Is Amazon right to cancel Clarkson even after he apologised to Harry and Meghan? Dan at GBNews.uk is the email. Tweet me at GBNews. The poll results coming up shortly, but revved up for this debate tonight is the royal biographer. She has written biographies recently on Prince Harry and Camilla, and the journalist, plus a friend of the Queen Consort, Petronella Wyatt. So, Angela Levin, to me, this is outrageous because you've got Harry and Meghan who are now trying to shut down individual journalists if they don't like what they say, and Amazon is marching to the beat of their drum.
Yeah, that's what I really hate. I think if somebody apologises, it takes some effort to apologise, and then you just are gracious and you say, OK, but I was really scared. I was really shocked because I've never seen Game of Thrones. I thought, what on earth is that man saying about excrement? Good God. But then it became clear and you think, oh, phew, OK. But I think when you get big companies wiping people out, taking away all their livelihood, I think that it's absolutely despicable. And we can't have that. We can't have somebody who's so grand that companies will listen and do that. And if you think about it, Harry has been so horrible about his family, and he's been extremely spiteful and used lots of appalling language. What happens to him? Nothing. So I think that they can't actually just be gracious and say, OK, well, you know, we were really shocked, it was shocking, but appreciate your apology. And then we all carry on with their lives. But they won't. They will hang on, they will attack the newspaper, the Sunday Times, the Sun, and they will just carry on and carry on until they're destroyed. Then that's a middle name, isn't it now? Destroy, destroy.
Petronella Wyatt, I know you're not exactly a fan of Harry and Meghan because, of course, you're a big supporter of the Queen Consort Camilla, but you feel that Jeremy Clarkson's comments were beyond the pale and that Amazon are right to do this?
I was furious with Jeremy Clarkson because it was so stupid, because what he wrote actually made it appear as if Harry and Meghan temporarily had a point. And that's what really irritated me. And I think I think he should have been punished for that alone. I also think that the analogy was a little bit twisted and sick and a little bit beyond, as I said, beyond the pale. And he should have just stuck with saying he hated Meghan. But I have, which, wouldn't make him alone. I don't feel that sorry for Clarkson, his livelihood. I don't think the Sun is going to drop him. Amazon is a commercial company. They can do what they want. I get Angela's point entirely, though. I think this new statement on behalf of Harry and Meghan is very, very sinister. Because, in my view, this was an isolated incident. It was one unfortunate remark made by a man who'd probably drunk a little too much before Christmas, and nobody was paying much attention.
Well, he thought he was making a clever joke that everyone was going to pick up. But as Angela said, I'd never watched Game of Thrones either, so I didn't see the joke. But I think if you had watched Game of Thrones, you understood it.
But it was...
You needed to be told. You needed to be told.
But there was a real historical incident of this. This used to happen to women in the late Middle Ages. For example, Edward IV's mistress, Elizabeth Shore, when he died, and his rather puritanical brother became Lord Protector, she was made to parade naked through the streets of London, and the crowds threw stuff at her.
Which is probably what Game of Thrones based it on.
They did,
and
yeah.
The thing is, Angela, right, we can all say that comment was vile, right? It was wrong.
Yeah.
But, hello, that's free speech. And as Clarkson said today, I think he's written something like 5,000 newspaper columns. He made a mistake. And I think what shows that the Sussexes have none of this compassion that they constantly go on about is they have not been prepared to accept his very heartfelt apology, issued both privately and publicly. They want to destroy the man. They want to take away his livelihood. They want to take away his right to work.
I think that's right. I think they want to control. I mean, we heard that from Harry. He gave us lots of clues about what he wants to do. He wants to fix the royal family. He wants to curtail any connection between the royal family and the
but he
press.
also wants to shut down all three of us, Petronella.
Exactly.
And that's the problem, because you might not back Clarkson in this case, Petronella.
Yes,
but next time it will be you.
Well, this is why the statement was so sinister, because it claimed that every single column Clarkson had written, and by implication, many of us print journalists, they hate all of us, peddled hatred, conspiracy theories. I thought, well, God, what conspiracy theories have I
What are they talking about?
Exactly. It's become insane.
They don't like anyone who works for the press unless they work for certain newspapers who they know are going to be lovely about them.
Yeah.
We are not allowed to criticise. We are not allowed to criticise. And if we do criticise, it's not that they just don't like us. They just throw so many nasty comments on us via Twitter and via everything.
They have their
emails,
tame journalists, who I won't name, but we know who
Well, no,
they
I'll
are.
name them. They've got that weird little bloke. What's his name?
There's Bryony Gordon.
Scabies, and that other odd woman, Bryony Gordon, who's a little propagandist for them.
Exactly.
And I'm more than happy to speak to those sorts of people.
And they take these hallucinogenic therapeutic drugs and talk a lot of nonsense, like leaders of some weird cult.
Although we don't know that Ms. Gordon
I wasn't suggesting she did.
No, just to be very clear.
I wasn't suggesting that.
Although if you'd read her interview, you might have thought that was the
Harry
case.
is admitting
They can't control
Final word,
us.
Angela.
That's it.
No.
We must not allow them to control us. It's extraordinary that we have to be so strong about this, because we can have an opinion. Meghan is not popular. Harry now is not popular.
But that's why it's despicable and disgusting what Amazon has done to Jeremy Clarkson. Absolutely. Say that you disagree with his column, distance yourself from it if you want. But to cancel his TV show that is loved and adored by millions of people across the world.
They're going to suffer from it.
They're
going to suffer from it because apparently people are cancelling.
Well, you know the phrase, go woke, go broke.
Yeah.
And I think Amazon will start to feel that.
Yeah, they're taking so many people are not going to want to.
Well, look, fascinating debate. Thank you for having it. That was the royal biographer Angela Levin and the journalist Petronella Wyatt. But who do you agree with? Is Amazon right to cancel Clarkson even after he apologised to Harry and Meghan? Jamie on Twitter says, no, they are not. I am sick of these huge companies pandering to the woke brigade. This is futile and unnecessary PR move and a big mistake on Amazon's part. From David on Twitter, yes, that's exactly how free speech and the free market works. And from Rich, a lesson should have been learned here. Never bow to the mob. Your apologies will never be enough. Only your livelihood will suffice. Frankly, Clarkson's cowardice warrants this outcome. So that's an interesting take, a different take as well, saying Clarkson should have stood firm and never apologised. Results are in now. Just 9% of you agree that Amazon is right to cancel Jeremy Clarkson for his controversial Meghan column. 91% of you anti-Amazon in this. Good on you. But coming up is Rishi Sunak.